Hey guys, Dr. Stephanie here, and if you've ever had piriformis syndrome or any type of pain kind of deep in your butt or deep on the side of your hip, you know that it's a big pain, it's hard to get rid of, and it keeps you from doing things throughout the day because you just don't want to do anything because it hurts. And a lot of times sitting hurts too, so that makes it even harder because you don't want to sit for a long period of time because you feel that pain kind of roll deep in your butt. So piriformis syndrome, what it is the piriformis is a small flat muscle that goes from the sacrum to the greater trochanter of the femur. And the sciatic nerve runs right by that muscle. So a lot of times if that muscle gets irritated or tight, then it can irritate the sciatic nerve, and then you can have pain and numbness and tingling down your leg, which is even worse. So the goal is to get rid of the numbness and tingling, to get rid of the pain, and to keep it from coming back. So I'm going to show you 5 of my favorite exercises that I use for piriformis syndrome. These are also good if you have sciatica or any hip pain or even low back pain, but these exercises will help kind of loosen up that area and build some strength so that you can get rid of that pain for good. So we're going to start on the mat. Lie on your back and cross one leg over. So when you cross one leg over like this, a lot of stretches like this are good for the piriformis because they're directly stretching that muscle there. So we're going to start and just rotate side to side on this one. And you'll want to go nice and slow. You may even want to pause for a second or two when you get down towards the floor. If you can't get all the way down, that's okay. Just go as far as you can comfortably. And you're just going to go back and forth nice and slow, really stretching that muscle out. This is a good stretch for the lower back as well. You want to do 10 or 15 times, and then go ahead and switch sides and go back and forth. I like to do both sides, even though most of the time if you have that pain, it's only on one side, but it's still good to get both sides kind of loosened up. So 10 or 15 on this side. And then we're going to leave that leg bent up like that and do a bridge. So lift our hips up and then back down in that position. So lift your hips up and back down. We want to do 2 to 3 sets of 10, just up and down. And we're going to do both sides, so you can alternate. So you can do 10 on that side and then switch and do 10 on this side and then go back again. So 2 to 3 sets of 10 of those. And then we're going to go onto our hands and knees. So that first exercise was really kind of a stretch, kind of loose, or an active stretch, kind of loosening up that piriformis, your lower back, kind of all the muscles in your hips. And then that second exercise also worked on mobility, but it also worked on some core strength and hip strength as well. So that's kind of the goal. We want to work on mobility, but we also want to work on strength. All right, so this next exercise is a mobility and a strength exercise. You can't really do mobility without strength. So this one, you're just going to get on your hands and knees and straighten one leg out. And then you're going to slide your foot out to the side and then lift up off the ground and slide it back. So you're going to slide out as far as you can to the side, lift it off the ground, and come back. I'm just using my sock on the floor. You can put a towel underneath your foot as well if that works. Just slide it out and then come back. So do 10 or 15, and then you'll switch to the other side and do the same thing. So slide it and then lift and back. And when you lift, so you slide out, when you lift, you don't want to tilt your hips too much. You want to try to keep your back flat and just lift your toes up off the ground. So slide out, lift up, and then slide back. So that's working on that hip mobility, but also strength there. Okay, for the next one, we'll actually lie on our sides. So this one is going to be a side plank clamshell. And we're not going to hold the side plank, so you're just going to be on your forearm and then knees bent here. So lift up and then lift the top leg into a clamshell and then come back down. So lift up, clamshell, and back down. And this is more of a strength exercise. You can also place a band around your knees if you want to make it a little bit tougher. You can also hold this position and do a clamshell to make it even tougher. If you don't feel like you're ready for that side plank, you can just start in this position and do a clamshell here, and then lift up to here when you're ready. Okay, so the last one, we're gonna stand up, and what you're gonna do is a single leg RDL. This you can use weights for, but we're gonna start with no weight. But if you feel like it's easy, go ahead and grab a weight. So you're gonna stand on one leg and just hinge forward at the hips, down towards the floor and back up. So you wanna keep your back up straight. And I like to reach towards the floor because it kind of gives you a target. Your arms kind of help you balance. So you're just gonna lean forward and then back up. Keeping this knee slightly bent, lean forward and back up. Forward and back up. And then you'll do 2 to 3 sets of 10 on that one. And then switch to the other side. And same thing, hinge at the hips. And hinge at the hips. And again, you can grab a weight. If you can't quite do that on one leg, you can hold on to a wall as you do it. Or you can use your back foot as support, so you can just keep your toes on the ground and lean forward and back up. So 2 to 3 sets of 10 of those. So all 5 of those exercises really work on strength and mobility and hopefully kind of loosen up those muscles in your hips, that piriformis muscle, and should reduce some of your symptoms of sciatica, of pain deep in your butt, even lateral hip pain. And I would recommend doing those at least a couple times a week, but you can do it 3 to 6 times a week and continue doing that for several weeks because obviously pain's not going to go away if you just do that one time. So just keep on being consistent with those, do those exercises, build up some strength, build up some mobility, and you should be able to get rid of that pain that's deep in your butt or traveling down the back of your leg.